काय झालं तुला? आता काय प्रॉब्लेम? तुला प्रत्येक गोष्टीचा प्रॉब्लेम. परत नाही यार काय झालं? अशी सवय आहे ना. इकडं काढलं ना इथंच पडेल.
Hello students, am I audible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this TED Pro screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Visible.
Okay. So let me continue our session from a little revision. So yesterday we discussed about this project task, and we also discussed how to model using space, plan, floor and truss, right? So these are the modules we have. We discuss how to model. So click on next. Here with the add beam we finished it. And over here we learn how to create a model using this grid system, that is our graphical user interface. And the other method is using command file, that means we can place our coordinates over here and then we join each and every node and create our model. So these are the two methods that we discuss, and also we discuss about the translation repeat and circular repeat, right? So do you have any query up to this point?
No, sir.
Okay, everyone.
Uh, can you repeat that particular pyramid?
Which one?
The pyramid, the assignment.
Okay, pyramid assignment.
Because I'm I'm asking because I wanna see again how the coordinates are plotted.
Okay.
I somehow did the assignment, but I'm not sure about what coordinates I have followed.
Okay, no problem. See, first of all, let me explain you the coordinate systems. So to create a coordinate system, see, we have x direction over here. See, I am creating one lines. So this yellow line is our x, right? Then next we have y-axis, vertical one, and next we have a z-axis, like this. So this is our plan view, and whatever coordinates, whatever points we are placing over here, we need to provide address. So for example, I want to place one point which is at some distance from x, then at some distance from y, like this, and at some distance from z, like this. So what will be the address of this point? So first you have to calculate the x value, this one, then y value and z value, and similarly you need to place it over here, x, y and z. Now see, first point I am placing 0 comma 0 comma 0, that means this is our origin. See, this one is our origin. Now next point I want in x direction at around 5 meter. Okay, I just want a x position at 5 meter. So this is our x direction. See, here we have a UCS icon, so you can view that which one is our x direction. Okay, so I am next point I am placing in x, I want 5 meter, in y 0 and in z 0. So this screen will automatically zoom, extend in front of you. You can zoom out. Now see, this is our first point at 0 0 0, and this is our second point at 5 meter in x direction. So again I am annotating this thing. This is our x, this is our y, and this is our z, and we just provide 5 meter to the x direction only. So 5 0 0. For example, I want to place one point exactly above this point. Okay, on this point, this is already at 5 meter in x. Again I want to go to 5 meter in y. So what will be our coordinate? 5 meter in x, 5 meter in y, and 0 in z. So see, this point is on the top of this point. To simplify this thing, just use two axes, x and y. So turn your screen in front of you. So view from z. So this is our 0 0, this is our x, and this one is our y. So 5 meter and 5 meter in y. So this is 5 comma 5. So these are our coordinates. Now what I have done, I have created one point over here at 5 meter distance. Okay, this point, focus on this point. This point is 5 meter away from the origin, 0 0. Now select this point and take a circular pattern, a circular copies. So again I am creating my isometric view, and see, we want a circular pattern over here of this point. Let's say circular pattern, and then around which point we want to create our circular pattern and which one will be our axis. So here I am choosing y axis, and my point should be this one. My origin point, you have to choose your center point, around which point you want to pattern your object. Okay, so for that, here I am choosing this one, or you can enter a value also, that around this node I want a circular pattern. Then around 360, and how many copies you want. Let's say I want a 12 copies. Click OK. So you will get a 12 copy of this node around this point. See, we have 12 copies. Similarly, what we do, we take only 3 copies. because we want only 3 point. So take a circular pattern around y-axis. Origin point or around the node is this one, and I want only 3 copies at 360 degree. Click OK. So we have 1, 2 and 3 copy around this point, and then just connect it like this and this. Now everything we have done over here is on XZ plane. Okay, so this is our 2D. See, view from side, you will get it's a 2D. Okay, or view from Y positive also from the top view, you will get the exact idea that we have created one triangle on the XZ plane. Now we want one more plane, one more point at some height from this center. So again, I am going to isometric view. Now I want to create one point exactly on the top of this point. For example, at 6 meter height. Okay, on this point, this is our origin. So what will be the coordinate for this point? So x value will be 0, y value will be 6 meter because I want to translate 6 meter, and z will be also 0. So again our new coordinate 0, y will be 6 and z will be 0. So this point is exactly on the top of this point. See, when you view it from the top, you will get the exact idea that both the points are exactly on the same line. Now we want to connect this point with the other nodes. So with the help of this add beam tool, you can connect it like this, and like this. Clear now?
Yes, sir. It's clear enough.
Okay, good. Anyone have other question regarding our last session?
No, sir.
Okay, so let me continue our today's session. Before we start, I want to tell you a couple of things regarding analysis simulation. Okay, so to analyze any kind of structure, we have 5 different steps. In our first step, we have to model something. So our step 1 will be modeling. Then second step will be our property. In the property, we have 2 things. We have section property and also material property. Okay, then our third step is assigning support. Then fourth step is assigning load, and fifth step is run the study. So these are the 5 steps we have to analyze any product. Okay, so for example, let me take example from the assignment. So I am sharing you our assignment, your today's assignment. This. So this is your today's assignment, and we have our first problem over here. See, problem 1. We need to analyze a beam over here. See, The length of this beam is 4 meter, and we have couple of other instructions over here. So this is our question. These are the questions we have. We need to calculate this much things. So let we begin our problem. So what is our first task? Task 1, modeling. Step 1, modeling. So in the modeling we have only single beam over here, one beam. So let me finish our modeling first. So here I am using snap nodal beam tool, and we have to create a beam which have 4 meter span. So from 0 to 4 meter. Okay, we have done. Escape it and finish it. So we create our model. See, this is our model. That's it for this problem. So our step 1 is finished, that we create a model. Then let me discuss our problem in detail. So here we have given a material property, that is we have to use 20 grade concrete. Then also we have a section property. We have to use 0.3 meter cross 0.3 meter cross section over here, and a load between 2 meter to 3 meter. So load is given over here, and the load value is 8 kilonewton per meter. Okay, fine. So these are the inputs that we have to provide. So let me go to our next task, our second step, which is property. So again, in the state screen, go to the general. In the general tab we have property, and here you have to create your property. Now how to create your property? Just go to the properties and click on the define, and you will get the different types of shapes over here. You want a circular profile, you want a rectangular or T shape, trapezoidal. So many shapes we have, eye sections we have. Okay, so we want a rectangular section, and the depth is 0.3 meter, and the ZD width is also 0.3 meter. So you have to check this preview, your small diagram over here, that which value you are providing. Right now we have a square, so that doesn't mean. So 0.3 meter and 0.3 meter. But also we have to add material from here. See, but right now we do not have that M20 material. So first of all we need to create our material. So cancel this thing. Okay, and now we are going to discuss how to create a material. So in the properties we have two steps: section property and material, as we discussed. Now for the material, go to the general. Over here you will find the material, and here state provides us a 4 different material by default. But how to create our own custom material? So for that, go to the create. Here you have to provide the name. For example, we want M20 material, so my name is M20. Now you have to provide the physical property of your material, where you will need Young's modulus of your M20 grade concrete, Poisson's ratio, density, and some thermal properties. But right now we don't need this thermal property, so leave it. We just want 3 values over here: Young's modulus, Poisson's ratio, and density. Poisson's ratio for the concrete material is 0.17, that you all know, right? So we enter 0.17. Density, that we need to measure, right? So mass per volume, right? So you can create 1 cube of your concrete. Then with the help of weighting machine, take the mass and measure the volume and divide it. You will get the density of that concrete. So we are assuming a density of M20 material is 25 kilonewton per meter cube, right? So right now we are just assuming this thing. Now Young's modulus. To find out the Young's modulus, we have one equation, and that is E is equal to 5000 under root FCK, right? E is equal to 5000 under root FCK. And what is FCK? FCK means your concrete grade. We have 20, so type over here 20 and calculate it. So open your calculator and do this thing for me. I want this answer from you.
Yeah. 22360.67.
Okay, just a minute. I'm writing over here. Okay, 2236
0.
0
.679.
2236 0.67. Okay, let me check it again. So here is my calculator, and first of all, under root 20 under root, then multiply it with the 5000. Okay, so this is our answer as you all said. Are you able to see this calculator?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but we have one problem over here. See, when we enter this under root 20, right? This 20. So what is the unit for this 20? That is Newton per mm square, right? So this answer is in Newton per mm square. We need to convert this answer into kilonewton. See, over here we have kilonewton per meter square, right? So we need to convert this answer into kilonewton per meter square. So first of all, we need to divide with 1000. So we will get answer in kilonewton. So divide with 1000. Okay. So this answer is kilonewton per mm square. Now we will need to convert this meter square, mm square into meter square. So we need to multiply this with 6 zeros. Okay. So this is our answer in kilonewton per meter square. It is clear now? Or if you have any confusion? Hello students.
No, sir, no confusion.
Okay. So we have converted our Newton per mm square answer into kilonewton per meter square because we need to enter over here kilonewton per meter square. So now you can enter this value over here. How many digits we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 digits we have. So you can enter over here 2.23 e plus 7, right? So I have entered in scientific method. If you want to enter the regular with the regular method, you can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure your digits are okay. Just hit OK and check it again. Select it, go to the edit. Make sure your value will be in scientific, converted into scientific. So in this way, you have to enter Young's modulus, Poisson's ratio and density of your material. And hit OK and your material will be created. Fine. Now close this tab and again go to the property. Now we are going to define our property. Rectangular shape, cross section is 0.3 by 0.3, and over here you will find your material, see, that we have created. So select it, click on add and close. So whatever cross section you have created will be added over here in the section property. Now we have to assign this property to this beam. So select your beam cursor, select your beam, select your property, and over here you will get assign to selected beam option. Assign and yes. So now we assign this reference one, see this R1, and over here we have applied this R1. So now this beam have its own volume, its own property. So now you are able to view this thing in a 3D. So to view in a 3D, you can right click on the screen and go to the rendering, 3D rendering, and here you will get which type of beam you have, because it has a cross section property now, and you can orbit it over here. Okay, in the rendering mode you can orbit it. We have one more option over here. If you go to the 3D rendered view, we have in the toolbar. From here you can also switch to the render mode. And if you want to see your cross section on this viewport, on this StadePro environment, just right click, go to the structure diagram, and here you will get 3D section options. Right now we have none. If you click on the full section, click on apply, so it will show you a full cross section instead of that wireframe model. If you click on the section outline, it will give you a wireframe model. But we are happy with the none. This thing only works after you assign a property. Okay. Without property, you have created only a line, nothing else. Once you assign your property, it will become a solid cross section. Right? So we have complete our step 2, assigning properties. Now our third step is support. So let me again go to our model, our problem. So here we have two types of support. First one is fixed support, this one, and this one is the pin support. And as you all know that every support having every node or every object having a 6 degree of freedom, and when we provide a support, its freedom are going to lock. So that is our support. So which are that 6 freedoms? So go to the StadePro. Here in the general, you will get this support. So click on this support. And here we have a support wizard dialog box. Here we have to create our support. So click on create, and first we have fixed support. So over here you can see that restricted, all these 6 freedoms are restricted: 3 translation and 3 movements: fx, fy, fz, mx, my, mz. So force in x, force in y, and force in z, movement in x, movement in y, and movement in z, right? So all these 6 freedoms are restricted. So that type of support we say fixed support. Click on add. Now we will select this support. We will take our nodal cursor and select this node and click on assign to selected node, assign, and yes. So as you all can see, we have a fixed support over here. Similarly, we have to create one more support for this end, that is pin support. So again click on create. Here we have a pin support where our movements are free, our translations are restricted, forces are restricted, but movements are free. That type of support is known as pin support. So click on this pin support, click on add, and select your pin support, select your node and assign it. So you need to remember this thing, that every time whatever thing you are going to create over here, after creating that thing, you have to assign it to your particular object. So our third step is also finished. Now we are entering in our fourth step, that is loading. And here in our problem we have only single load. See, 8 kilonewton per meter from 2 meter to 3 meter. I'm taking this in front of us, so viewing from Z. Okay, so for the support, go to the loads and definition, and here you will get load and definition dialog box. See, so before we create our load, first of all we need to create our load case. So you can assume a load case as an envelope. Okay, so first of all we have to create one envelope, and then in that envelope we are able to put our loads. There are different types of envelopes, like dead loads envelope, live load, win load. So these are the categories, and we have to create a individual folder, individual envelopes for these loads. So click on this load case detail, click on, okay, this is auto saving, click on this load case detail, click on this add, and here we have to add a load case. Load case primary, the name you can give as you want, and click on add and close. What is the difference between load case and envelope? I am just giving an example that load case is one type of envelope where you can put your load. Okay, there is nothing like envelope over here. So this load case is, I'm just giving a example that this is, you can assume that this is a envelope, or you can say a folder, right, where we put our some loads inside that. So first we have to create a load case, then click on that load case and click on again add. So now you are able to create your load. Which type of load we have to create? We have to create a member load where we have a uniform force. So preview will be over here. So W1 we have to provide minus 8 kilonewton per meter. Why I prefer minus value over here? Anyone have idea?
The load is acting against gravity. Towards gravity.
Yes, but software didn't know which direction is our gravitational direction. So let me confirm you. Let's say first of all we take 8 kilonewton per meter, and over here we need to specify direction. See directions, and we are choosing global y direction. So we are applying this load in global y direction. Okay, and we have to provide the d1 and d2 value over here because we need to provide between 2 meter to 3 meter. So starting point 2 meter and ending point 3 meter. So our load will be in between 2 meter to 3 meter according to our diagram. Click on add and close. Now we have to apply this load. So select it, select your object, click on assign to selected beam, assign, and yes. So as you all can see, our load is from positive y direction. Okay, see our y direction, our load is from positive y direction. We want to apply from top to bottom. That's why we have to prefer our load with the minus value. So again click on that, click on edit, and here you have to provide -8. So when you put minus sign in front of this value, your load direction will be reversed. Click on change. Okay, so now as you all can see, we are applying load from negative y direction. Okay, so always we will apply our load from negative y direction because that is our direction, that is our gravitational direction, as you say. So again one more thing, click on edit. So here you have to choose global y and your load must be negative. What about the dead load? Whatever load we have, every load is generated due to the gravity. Either it is dead load or a live load. All the loads that we are feeling right now, that is due to gravity. If you remove this gravity, your load will be removed. Are you getting me? So always our load direction will be negative y direction. Either it is dead load or it is live load. That doesn't matter. So fine, we have done our modeling, then assign property with material, then support, and then load. Now we are on our last step. So here we have to analyze. Yes, anyone have question? Okay. So to analyze this problem, to run this study, first of all, you need to perform your analysis. So to perform your analysis, go to the command and we need to give a command that I'm ready to analyze this thing. So go to analysis and click on perform analysis. You can choose anyone from these, whatever data you want. You want load data or you want all of these model shapes and static loads and all. But I generally prefer no print right now over here. So you can use no print also. Click on no print and click OK. Now state is ready to analyze this thing. So go to the analyze menu and here you will find run analysis. Control F5 is the short key. So click on run analysis. Again he will ask you for the saving. So save your problem and you will get your result. Okay. So here we have couple of options to before we done. We have over here view output file, go to post process mode and stay in modeling mode. So if you choose this view output file, then he will show you the analysis report. If you choose go to the post process, then he will show you analysis result. And if you choose the stay in modeling mode, then you will be over here. Okay, so stay in modeling mode, click done. Now we are able to go to the post process and also able to view the result. So that doesn't matter, that is the short keys where directly he will prompt us. So now how to check the result? Before we check our result, what is our question? So here, as we have given data, find maximum displacement, maximum bending moment and maximum shear force. Okay, so these are the things we have to find for this study. So we analyze this thing. Now go to the post processing. Here you can check your result. So click on post processing, click on OK, and here first of all we have displacement. See, node and displacement. Press your control button and scroll it up, so your displacement effect will be scaled up, so you can view it properly. Scale it that much that is visible for you. Okay, don't scale it like this. Scale it only that much which is suitable and properly visible for you. So here we have at starting position 0 displacement, at ending position also 0 displacement. So that thing you will find in the table. See, at node 1 we have 0 displacement and node 2 we also have 0 0 0 displacement. But if we divide our beam into 4 division, so here is the result. So when you reach at 1 meter around here, so we have a 0.121 mm displacement in negative y direction, so minus 0.121 mm. Then at 2 meter we have 0.293 mm. At 3 meter we have 0.258 mm, right? So in our question that is given that find the maximum displacement. So what is the maximum displacement over here? So you cannot take this value 0.293 mm, because this value is no doubt maximum in this table, but it may be other value between this 2 meter and 3 meter. 2 meter from here to 3 meter from here may have a different value. We have to find a maximum displacement. So to get that result, you can go to this result menu. Here we have view value and we want to see beam result, and what we want, a maximum displacement. So turn on this thing, click on annotate and close. So you will get the answer of our first question. So our maximum displacement is 0.313 mm. Clear up to this point?
So how you find the maximum? Can you repeat it again?
Go to the result menu. Here you will get view value. Go to the view value and here we have beam result. You have to annotate your maximum result for displacement. Turn this on, click on annotate. That will be annotated on the display. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Similarly, our next question is maximum moment and maximum shear force we have to find. So for that we have to go to the beams. here we have forces. So just press Control and scale it up little bit so we can view this thing properly. Now what is this? So this is our bending moment diagram, right? So here you will find all these 6 options. Shear force in X, that means axial force. Shear force in Y, shear force in Z, moment in X, that means torsion, bending moment in Y, and bending moment in Z. In our question that is given, we have to find maximum bending moment and maximum shear force. Okay, so this is our bending moment in Z. If you turn off this and turn on the other, so that diagram will be shown to you. But over here we have only two things, moment in Z and shear force over here, force in Y. Shear force in Z is also not applicable in our problem, and moment in X and moment in Y is also not applicable in our problem because we have only a single beam. So we have only shear force in Y direction, that is this one, and moment in Z. So these are the two results we have. You can turn it on and off from here. We have this result panel over here. You can turn it on and off from here. So first of all, turn on only MZ, moment in Z. So here you will get the result of maximum bending moment and maximum shear force. We have table over here, and this is the table for all. And if you want to see your result on the display, just again go to the result, view value, beam result, and here we want a bending maximum. Turn it on, click on annotate and close. So you will get the maximum moment. We have 5.036 kilonewton meter. So this is the answer of our second question. And then turn this diagram off and turn on the other one, shear force. Again go to the result, view value, beam result. This time turn off this moment and turn on this maximum shear force. Click on annotate and close. So our maximum shear force is 4.259 kilonewton. So these are the results. So it is clear now up to this point. If you have any question, then you can ask me.
Sir, can you please repeat after you?
Yes. Sorry.
Sir, can you please repeat? Can you please repeat after load details?
Repeat after.
Sir, actually, load details.
Load details.
That dead load thing.
See.
Load case details. Sir.
Okay, load case details. Yes, I will repeat entire problem in front of you right now. Okay, so don't worry.
Sir, actually, I'm having trouble in.
In which?
Sir, after that, I don't know. I have to run the analysis or where I have to get the shear force diagram.
Okay, just focus over here. I am solving this problem again quickly. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So from the beginning, new project, we will choose planar problem because we have 2D problem. Let's name it beam 1 meter kilonewton. Next, add beam and finish. Our first step is modeling. So we create a 4-meter long beam, escape and finish. So our modeling is done. Take it in a front view. Okay. Now second step is go to the general. Here first we have to create a material. So go to the material, click on create. We create a M20 material using the values 2.23 E plus 7, then Poisson's ratio 0.17 and density we assume 25. Click OK. So we create one material over here. Now we go to the property, section property, and we define one section property. So click on define rectangular, where our cross section is 0.3 by 0.3 and material is M20. Click on add and close. Now we assign this property to this beam. So select it, select this, assign to selected beam, assign yes. You can contact me. I will inform you how to download this software. Okay. I will share my contact number at the end. You can contact me. So we assign a cross section property that you can view from this 3D rendered view, or you can use the structure diagram to view it over here. But let me go with the none. Okay. Now next is support. So this is our third step, support. First we create both type of support, fixed support, add, again create, pins support, add. Now this fixed support will be on this node, assign yes, and this pin support is on this node, assign yes. And then we go to the load case, load and definition. Here first of all we have to create our load case. So click on load case detail, click on add, and we name it load case 1 and add it. So this is our load case. In this load case we can create our loads. So now select this load case and again click on add. So you will get this load items dialog box. Go to the member load, uniform force, value will be -8 kilonewton per meter, direction is global y, and D1 is starting point 2 meter and ending point 3 meter. So between 2 meter to 3 meter. Click on add and close. So as you all can see, we add a load inside this load case. We cannot directly create a load in the load case detail. First of all, we have to create a load case. Then in that load case, we create a load. Now select this load, select your member and click on assign to selected beam, assign and yes. So that will be assigned. Okay. And now before you run your study, go to the command, go to the analyze and click on perform analysis. Do not forget this option, otherwise you will get only error. Go to the command, go to the analyze, click on perform analysis, click on OK and then run your study. So you must have 0 error in that calculation. If you have any kind of error, that means you are wrong. Now I am going to post process mode. So click on go to post process and done. So it will directly prompt us to the post processing in our result. So first result is our displacement. So I am scaling it up. Press Ctrl and scroll your middle mouse button so you can scale it up little bit. To check the maximum displacement, go to the result, view value, beam result, and here we have all types of maximum and minimum annotation. So right now we have a displacement diagram. So turn on this displacement maximum result. Click annotate, so it will annotate in front of you, or you can choose remove all to remove it. Okay, so 0.313 is our maximum displacement. Now for the moment and shear force, go to the beam result. Here we have forces, and this is our moment in Z. See, bending moment in Z. If you turn off this and turn on this Fy, that is shear force in Y. So this is our shear force diagram. So these are the two results you will get over here, Fy and Mz. So this is our moment diagram. Again go to the result, view value, beam result, and this is our bending moment. Okay, so turn on this maximum bending moment, annotate and close. So it will annotate a maximum moment in your diagram. Turn off this and turn on this shear force diagram. All these diagrams are in forces. Okay, so you need to stay in forces, beam, forces. Turn on this shear force and again go to the result, view value, beam result, and not this one, I want shear force, annotate. So this is our maximum shear force. So it is clear now.
Yes, sir.
Good. Anyone have question?
I think it's no for now.
Okay, so just try it yourself.
We are a
Okay,
little bit, I'm a little bit confused. I need exercise.
sorry.
Maybe tomorrow we are having. I'm a little bit confused at the moment, so maybe on the next class we'll be having questions after practice.
Sure, no problem. Okay, but in this problem you will only get the forces result. See, here we have 6 things: fx, fy, fz, mx, my, and mz. Okay, but for this problem you will only get a result for mz and fy. Okay, so this mz is our bending moment and fy is our shear force. Rest are not applicable in our problem. Axial force, fz, mx, and my, these are not applicable. Only fy and mz. Nothing will happen, my friend. You can enter numeric value over there for the Young's modulus. It will automatically convert it into the scientific format. Initially we enter that 2, 2, 3, then so many zeros, right? First time. So you can enter in the numeric mode also. Okay, so now we have one more problem over here. And the second problem, you have to find the same thing, but in this problem we have 6 beams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 beams. Node 1 is fixed and node 2 to 7 are fixed but. So here we have new types of support, and all these 6 beams have 4-meter span, and cross section property is 3-meter cross 3-meter. So it's a typing mistake, okay? And don't type 3-meter cross 3-meter. 0.3 meter cross 0.3 meter. There must be a small dot over there. Let me check. Yes, we have a small dot over here. So I forgot to type 0. So you have to consider 0.3 meter cross 0.3 meter cross section property. Got it? And
Yes, sir.
also we
Got it.
have a 2D problem. See, very simple problem we have over here. And you have to do the same for this problem also. So let me show you this problem quickly. Then you have to try it yourself. Okay. New project. This time again I am choosing planar problem. Beam 2. Next, add beam and finish. So our first step is modeling, and we have to model 6 beam of 4-meter span. So let me edit this grid and change this x value to the 4-meter. Okay. So we have a bigger grid now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we have 6 beams over here. Turn off this snap nodal dialog box. Can we analyze 2 different beams in one sheet? Here we have 6 different beams. So yes, we can. So here we have 6 beams. Take it in front of us. Now next is cross section property. So here we haven't any material property, we have only section property. So as a material we will use that concrete material that STED is providing us. So go to the general, go to the property and click on define rectangular shape 0.3, 0.3 and use concrete material over here. Click on add and close, and I will select this. I will select all the beams. Click on assign and yes. So we apply a cross section property to all the beams. Now support. So for the first beam we have a fixed support. So create fixed support, add. This support is for this node only. Choose your nodal cursor first. Add and yes. And the rest of the nodes are carrying fixed butt. See, we have fixed butt, and in the butt that means which thing we need to release. We have fx and mz. These two things are free, fx and mz. So these two things are free. in our support. So again click on create. This time we will create a fixed butt, and in the butt we have to release. Over here, as you all can read, we have release. So fx and mz, these two things we put release, and rest of the four will be restricted. Yes. Okay, so here we have one question that sir, beam is made up of both concrete and steel, and why we take only material as a concrete? I will answer your question later. It's a very simple question. I will answer that. Okay, so don't worry, I will discuss that. First, this support, click on add, and this support will be on the rest of the node. Click on assign. So these are the supports. Now our fourth step is assigning loads. So click on load and definition. Here we have to create one load case, and then we have to create loads. So we have many types of loads over here. See, first we have 45 kilonewton uniform force, then we have 30 kilonewton nodal load, then 30 kilonewton concentrated force. So these are the loads we have to create one by one. So let me create our first. So click on load case, add, here member load, uniform force, and here minus 45. But this load will be on entire beam, so we do not need to provide d1 and d2 value. So keep this thing in your mind. Whenever your load is in all over the beam, you don't need to provide this range d1 and d2. Click on add, close, select this on this beam, assign, and yes. Okay, now next we have a point load or a nodal load 30 kilonewton on the second and fourth node. So again click on load case, click on add. This time we will choose this node load, and in fy minus 30. Click on add and close. Choose your nodal cursor, select this on the second node, press Ctrl on the fourth node, click on assign, and yes. So see, we have added two more. Then next we have two loads over here, 30 kilonewton at 1 meter and 30 kilonewton at 3 meter. These both are point load, and in between we have uniform force minus 35. So first of all we will create a point load. So click on load case, add, again member load, we have concentrated force over here minus 30, and the d1 will be 1 meter, add, then one more at 3 meter, add, and uniform force for minus 35 meter from 1 meter to 3 meter, add and close. Now see, this is a point load at 1 meter. Select this beam, assign, yes. So this load is over here at 1 meter, this one blue one. Similarly we create one more at 3 meter. So select it, this beam, assign, yes. So this is at 3 meter, 30 kilonewton, and in between we have created a uniform force 35 kilonewton between 1 meter to 3 meter. again assign and yes. So this is that one. So in this way you have to create all this load. Next we have a trapezoidal load minus 60 kilonewton. So again click on load case, add member load. Here we have linearly varying load. In the linearly varying we have two options. So this second option, turn on this second option, minus 60, add and close, and this one will be on this beam, assign and yes. So yes, we have a triangular load. Then from 0 to minus 45. So again click on this, click on add, member load, trapezoidal load or linearly varying load. W1 is 0 and W2 is minus, what was the value? 45. So at starting position 0, ending position minus 45. Add, close, select this, on this one, assign, yes. Similarly, next we have a concentrated movement of minus 40 kilonewton per meter. Click on add, member load, concentrated movement minus 40, but this time we have to choose a different direction. See, to apply movement we have to choose a direction of our beam, and our beam is in x direction. So here you have to choose global x. So keep this thing in your mind. For the movement we have to choose global x direction. Then and then our movement, our twisting effect will be applied. Click on add and close. Select this, assign and yes. So we assign a moment. Then lastly we have minus 20 to minus 40, linearly varying load. So again member load, linearly varying from minus 20 to minus 40. Add and close. Select this, assign and yes. So we apply all the types of loads over here. If you go to the isometric view, you will get this movement. Click on these loads. See, this movement is in yellow color. Just select it, you can view it. So your movement must be around your beam. That's why we choose global x direction for the movement. Now we are ready to run this study. So go to the command, analyze, perform, OK, and run the study. Go to the post process, done, OK. So here you will get a result for all the 6 members. When you click on the result, view value, beam result and maximum displacement annotate. So he will annotate for all the members. Beam number 1 have this much maximum displacement, 2 have this much, 3 have this much, 4 have this, 5 have this one, and 5th have this one. Similarly, in all the diagram you will get the individual result of your all beams. So it is clear now. Okay, here we have one question. What is the difference between nodal load and concentrated force? So whenever you apply a point load on any node, any see, this is the node, right? This point is node, and whenever you apply a load on that point, so you have to take a nodal load. But for example, you have a point load somewhere else on the beam. Are you getting me? You have a point load somewhere else on the beam, then you have to use that point load concentrated force. Otherwise, you can use the nodal load. If you are assigning your load at our support point or node, then you can use nodal load. So I hope you all are clear up to this point. So in your assignment, we have one more problem, which is 2D problem. So first you have to model this thing. Then sir, if we apply concentrated load on node, you are not able to apply a concentrated load at node, because it's a part of your member load. See, here when you go to the load and definition, here when you click on add, see, for each and everything we have different loads over here. Only these are the loads that you can apply on the node. If you want to create a load for your beam, then these are the options we have. These are the loads that you can apply on the beam only. Okay, for example, you have a shear wall, RCC wall. So for the wall, we have a plate load. So these are the load that we can apply only on plates. So for the node, you have to create a nodal load. For the member, for the beams, for the members, you have to create a member load. We cannot apply a member load on a node or a nodal load on a member. You cannot interchange that thing. Okay, now we will come on the one question, and that is the beams or structure is made with the two materials, right? Steel and concrete. So why we analyze with concrete only? Before we discuss this question, I want to ask you some questions. So now please, you all can unmute yourself, and we have a small discussion. So my first question is, why we provide steel inside the concrete?
No, I'm not audible, sir.
Hello?
Come again, sir.
Concrete is weak in tension.
Okay. So my first question is, why we provide steel inside the concrete? Why we mix that both thing? Reason behind that?
Again, strength.
Cement has binding property.
Okay. Any other?
Concrete is good in compression and steel is good in tension.
Okay, good answer. Then
And steel can be prevented from corrosion when it's inside a concrete.
so to protect that steel, we provide concrete. You are saying that.
No.
Sir, to provide resistance to tensile stresses.
Yes, I share your ideas. You all are right. See, I'm
Sir,
not
to-
here to say that you are wrong. You all are right. So don't hesitate. Just share
To
whatever.
provide resistance to tensile stresses.
Okay.
To provide resistance to tensile stresses.
Okay. Then
Uh, this much.
okay, no problem. See, our first question is why we mix this both thing. Okay. This is our first question. Why we mix this both thing together? We can create if concrete is weaker material, right? Concrete is weak material. It doesn't carry that much properties that it fulfills the entire requirement our, but steel is very strong material. We can create our entire structure with the steel, right? So now see, whenever, for example, this is our beam. See, I am very poor in creating sketches, but for example, this is our simply supported beam. Okay. So in this beam, we have two types of things. One is tension zone and one will be our compression zone. When we apply a load, it will be like this, right? So are you able to see my screen? Okay. I hope now you are all able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
I am very poor in this sketching thing that we use AutoCAD. So your all doubt will be cleared within next 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Okay, here we have a AutoCAD screen.
No, sir.
For
Maybe, sir.
example, this is our beam, right? And when we apply some load, then it will become like this,
Okay.
right? So this is the
Yes.
output, this one. So here we have two types of area. One is compressed area and one is in tension. Okay. And here if I create something, let's say ellipse, so this much portion will be in tension, and same on the opposite side, this portion will be in compression. Okay, this portion will be in compression. And if we discuss about the property of the concrete and steel, let's say we have a positive x and y and also negative x and y. So this is tension in x, this one is tension in y, this direction is compression in x, and this is compression in y. Okay, now let me create a working zone of concrete material. So for example, you have one cube of concrete, okay, and you are applying a load So here we have x direction and y direction. Understand this thing carefully, okay? So this is our concrete block of certain dimension, and we put this block in our universal testing machine, and we try to compress it from the x direction. Okay, from this direction we are providing a compression load. So at some point this block is going to break, right? So for example, we reach up to, for example, up to this point. At this point our concrete block is going to break. For the compression, same thing, we again put this block, and this time we apply a tension load in x. So this block is again going to break at around this point. Okay, here he is going to break, because as you all know that concrete is not that much capable in tension condition, right? And same thing will happen on the y direction, right or wrong? You all are getting me or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the condition for the x direction. If we apply a compression load from x, it will sustain up to this point. If we apply a tension load in x, it will sustain only up to this point. Okay, same for the y direction. If we apply tension, it will sustain up to this point, and if we apply compression, it will go reach up to this point. So when we connect these all points, okay, let me connect with the line, this one to this one, this one to this one, and we'll use arc, start and direction. Start and direction. Okay, so here we have this area. See, this is the area. Inside this area our this block is safe, and outside this area our concrete block will crushed. Are you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this area is known as our concrete's working zone. Okay, let me do same thing for the steel. So in this case, for the steel, we have a very huge compression capacity. We also have a very huge tension capacity compared to concrete material. So our steel's working zone will be like this much bigger. Are you agree with me? Steel material is obviously better in compression and tension, both condition, with compared to concrete material, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that's why, see, in our construction work, we generally need both type of capacity. See, this is our requirement. Okay. This small circle is our requirement, and this hedge portion is fulfilled by the concrete, but the rest portion we need something to cover this rest portion. We have tensile load also in our structure, so who will take that load? So that's why we add reinforcement in our structure. So whenever we are going to calculate any of our structure, so the tension portion will, hello, yes. So whatever area in the tension will be calculated with the property of your steel material, and whatever area in the compression will be calculated with the property of your concrete material. And one more thing that I want to discuss,
Trace.
do you know about this word? What is the unit of stress? Force per area, right? But I want to
Yes, sir.
clear one thing over here.
Newton.
Yes, Newton per mm square, force per unit area, right? But I want to clear one thing over here. Whenever you analyze your problem, see, one question is over here, that why we use only concrete material. We use only concrete material because we have to find displacement over here. Okay, in our this problem we find this displacement with the help of material property, but whatever result we get in these forces is not depend on your material property. Are you getting me? Whatever forces you are getting over here will not depend on your material property. Are you agree with me or not?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm explaining you the reason, because this stress is independent from the material property. See, the stress is a independent property from your material. It will only depend on the shape. For example, see, when you are on in the college, so they give you a one question like this, that we have a simply supported beam, we have some type of load over here, and the cross section property is this much. Find the maximum stress, right?
Yes.
So is there any material property will be there in your question? No, because we don't need material to find the stress. To find out the stress, we only need a geometry, which type of object you have, and where your force is acting. You will get the stress, right? So stress is independent from the material. But when we say that our part is going to break, for example, due to some load, this part generates 500 Newton per mm square stress. Okay, so I am here writing. See, I am just giving you one example. So due to some load, this part, after we calculate this thing, this part generate 500 Newton per mm square load. Where is 500? 500 Newton per mm square. Okay. So when we analyze this study, we get a result that we are generating 500 Newton per mm square. But we check our material's yield point, that my material have capacity of 370 Newton per mm square. So what will happen? Due to that load, my product is generating this much stress, but I am using a material which have a capacity of 370 Newton per mm square. So that material is going to break, that product is going to break. Are you getting me? So your stress is independent from your material property. We apply that material property to calculate only and only our displacement result. Our stress value, our bending moment, and stress value stress value will not affect our analysis result. Fine. Okay, no problem. That all the theoretical things that we are discussing, but at the end you need to remember only one thing, that stress is independent. See, these are the stress where you have a tension and compression of your beam. See, whatever portion colored in blue will be tension, and whatever portion colored in green or red is the compression. Okay, so this is tension and compression diagram, and this thing is not doesn't depend on the material. That thing depends only on your load and your geometrical shape. Okay, so now at the end of this session, again you have to solve this study, this third problem. Okay, there are many things that we need to learn before this software, because a theoretical background is must necessary while we learn this software. We must have an idea about the working zone of concrete, working zone of steel, then the tension zone and compression zone, why we put this reinforcement. Yes, so at the end of this discussion, we know that concrete is not capable to carry that tensile load. That's why we provide the reinforcement. Now I will show you why we provide a reinforcement only in tension zone. Our reinforcement will only in the tension zone area. Okay, see, in this problem over here we have a green zone, right? That blue zone, that blue zone is our tension zone. So when we provide a reinforcement, when we give a command to the state pro that calculate the reinforcement detail, so we will provide more steel over here on the bottom compared to the top, because here we have tension load and that load must be carried by steel. Okay, you will understand these things step by step. This is just our second class. On our next class I will show you how to provide the reinforcement, how to design our problem. At that point we will enter again the material capacity and steel strength, concrete compression strength and steel tensile strength we will add over there. Then our software will analyze that with the material properties. Any other question?
Sir, how to save and mail the
Yes, yes.
assignment, sir?
Yes, just save your project
Okay.
and you will get only one file. See, the rest of the other file will be your backup file. I am not able to share my computer screen right now. I am only able to share my software screen. So otherwise I will show you. Just a minute, let me try.
Okay, sir.
I can share each and every application, but I cannot share my desktop screen.
Hi. POP आणा ना POP लावून द्या.
Okay, see, this is my Gmail. So here you have to write your state.psychet@gmail.com, your name and assignment number, right? Whatever instruction is there. Now click on this attach file. Go to your file location. We are in State Pro, and here you will find. See, these all are the backups. That
Okay, sir.
beam1.nl, beam1.mbd. These all are the backups. Only original file is this one. See, with the symbol beam1. So this is our state profile. See, state space frame. You can attach this file directly. So select it and click on open, and that's it. You have to mail this file.
Okay, sir.
And also, if you have
Okay, sir.
captured any screenshot and all, then you can also share that.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Any other question? Oh, okay, no problem. See, we have, when we say, as I told you in our first lecture, that state will create so many backup files. So that all are the backup files. You have only one file, that is our useful file, but then rest of the files are just backups. If you miss your file, then you can use that backups. Okay, no problem. So try to solve this assignment 2. If you have any confusion in the problem 3, then we will discuss in our next class on Saturday. Okay, and in the Saturday we have a reinforcement class. So Saturday you will learn how to provide, how to take output about reinforcement still detail. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
don't miss that.
For for the reinforcement diagrams and all, they will be providing in some buildings, no, sir. That kind
Yes,
of.
that will be discussed in our next class. So
Okay, sir.
it's a design and optimization class.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so don't miss that.
Okay.
See you. Bye.
ए घे काढून सगळं ते फायर फायर घे काढून बड फायर काढून घे नसतं पटकन.
Sir, share the assignment questions in the group.
Assignment will be shared on WhatsApp.
Okay, sir.
Okay, it will be given to you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, sir.